Well, personally, I love animation. I think it's a really fantastic art form. And to put animation alongside humans is my favourite mix.
The animation sort of just illustrates and explores Roald's imagination, which is kind of extraordinary. And so these little sequences are really a window into his incredible imaginative mind.
What I've seen of it, it's very much like illustrated as if it were a children's book, you know. So you have the live action going on ahead, but interspersed with that are these wonderful moments of where it sort of takes off at a tangent, goes off into animation, or you know, a sort of dreamlike sequence. So I think that kind of sets the tone of it very well.
I fell in love with Abby's script, really, from the first time I read it. I think as a director, you long for richly imagined characters in richly imagined worlds with fantastic visual potential. And that's what we had here.
We've a long journey ahead of us.
It was really important to me that the live action and the animation should feel like they're part of the same universe, so they belong in the same film, and not for viewers to feel almost like they'd switched channel from one thing to another.
Of course, we're filming at the moment and we're not seeing any of the animation. We're just working around it and knowing roughly when it will happen.
In fact, the scene we were just shooting now, which is the opening of the film, as we head up the stairs to bed, I think the camera then stays on the room and the doll's house kind of comes to life with the mice and what have you. And
it lit up and the front opened and you think, oh, this is going to be one of those moments here. We're going to see stuff now. So I'm very excited to see what it's like when it's all put together.
I think that's going to be kind of enchanting. And there'll be just a little added extra, which I suppose people won't be expecting.
Adding animation into the script was a very clear part of the story because I felt that it was a key part of my own childhood. So the books I had loved had been Roald Dahl and Beatrix Potter, but at the same time, the TV shows that had inspired me had been Bagpuss and Fingerbob. I was able to filter in another layer of my own childhood memories, and for me, that being stop frame animation was key.
I think what the animation will do, hopefully, take you into the world of young Roald as he sees it. And also the more that you get to know Beatrix, actually as she sees it as well. And that's sort of the point where they meet.
In some ways I see my job as overseeing the creation of this huge jigsaw that has to fit together perfectly. What really engaged me within the script was the way Abby had very clearly thought through how the animation and the style of the animation and the puppetry was integrated into the story. It clearly wasn't an afterthought, it was woven into the fabric of the narrative.
There's two types of animation. So there's the stop frame animation, and we have 4 wonderful little sections involving our stop frame mouse and mice family. And we also have some other animation which actually we've gone the puppetry route with that.
Do have a safe journey.
It was written into the script which scenes were going to be stop motion and which were going to be puppeteered. And I think it really shows Abby's sensibilities as a writer, that she very clearly understood that something like a cheeky fox talking over a woman's shoulder would work fantastically well as a puppet. And as for the stop motion, she knew that smaller stop motion mice would look really nice. I think when deciding whether something's going to be stop motion or puppetry, it's a kind of gut feeling that you have to go with as a director. With animation, we have to do lots and lots of planning because you can only do one take, as it takes so long to animate each of the characters, which means that I make a rough 2D version of the film before we even arrive at the studio.
The design of the animated sequences was really carefully agreed between me and the brilliant animation director, Tom. So we sat down together and we bashed ideas around. We talked about what would be the sort of most succinct and affecting way of structuring those sequences.
You know, we're working across lots of different pieces of technology, lots of different capture formats. They have their own colour spaces, and it can be quite tricky to match all of that up.
So finding transitions between those two worlds so that you felt the transition, but in a way that felt very designed and very purposeful, very deliberate, and not like as if it had just been plonked in from somewhere. So I feel like each one enriches the other, really, that the animated sequences will really enhance the live action and vice versa.
I think the animation will bring to the story the sense of when you're a child and you open a book for the first time and these amazing characters are spilling out of the pages, and you know, that's what we tried to capture as the doors of the doll's house open at the beginning of the film. It's almost as though you're opening a book and this story is going to unfold.